Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's reads. This week I'm going to use for the tarot part the Astromatrix Tarot, and astromatrix.org on the back here is where you check it out if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards, Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reish, and it's a Hay House product. So at the bottom there you can see the hayhouse.com if you're interested. Did I show the front of it? I hope I did. And for the dice, as always, I'm using the Dice Shop. Math Art Fun is where I got them. Hopefully you can read that if you want to. I use a 22-sided dice for the Major Arcana, substituting 22 for 0 for the Fool. 14-sided dice for the Minor Arcana, with a 4-sided dice choosing the element. Okay, that being said, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. That being said, let's get into your reading. Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Taurus? I just noticed that, I thought everything was ready, and then I'm like, oh, the phone's not off, so I had to turn that off. It's interesting. And the reason I think it's interesting is because Taurus is usually prepared. So I'm like, the fact that I wasn't, it's kind of like, I'm like, because I should be. This is a Taurus reading. So let's see what's going on. Double cards. Double cards popping out. Okay, if we're gonna. That could work for you. So, there's certain cards that work for Taurus that wouldn't work for everybody. Now, one of those cards, ironically, is the Devil card. Not because it's difficult, but because it's an Earth card. Sometimes it talks about Capricorn energy, which is compatible with Taurus. So you're going towards something here that might be a little bit more restrictive, a little bit more, kind of like if the rules are broken, there's going to be some very severe consequences. Taurus can usually roll with that. Usually. Kind of like, all right, there's very strict rules, and as long as you adhere to the rules, you don't have to worry about things. Taurus can usually work with that. The question is, what part of this do you add into? Because overall, I'm not seeing bad energy. Other people might be paying the consequences for not adhering to the rules. Which, all right, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I seem to think Taurus doesn't have a lot of sympathy for that. Kind of like, well, if you listen to the rules, you wouldn't have those problems. So, I don't know. Wherever this is starting from, it starts from a good place, at least for you. Is everything going to be nice and pretty and lovely? Not likely, but it starts at a good place where it's kind of like, I can make sense of this, I can make this work. A plus B equals C. All right, as long as A always equals 1, B always equals 2, then C will always equal 3. One of the reasons I feel like I liked this when I came into it, it wasn't nice and pretty. I noticed I said that right in the beginning. But actually that worked for you. Kind of like, all right, there's a foundation here. It's not quite right, but I can put it where it should be. I can fix this. It's kind of like, all right, I see where this over here isn't quite right, but I can take off the pressure from there, correct it, put it the way it's supposed to be, and rebuild on it the way it should be done. The fact that it wasn't perfect and nice when you started was not a problem. It actually let you get in there, do it the way it should be done, and also understand the inner workings of it, see it for yourself. So you're like, I did that myself, so I know that's right. One of those feelings. So this started off good, whatever this was. I feel like you put it in line, and then there's other things that had to be done. Okay, so other things had to be done. You had to step away from it. Is that correct? You might have a life where it's just, this is how it works. You can't sit there and babysit things. It's just not realistic. It's not that you wanted to walk away. It's other things weren't working. So I fix what I can. I put it where it should go. I set up the rules. And then there's other things that have my attention. Okay, so I'm seeing an analogy of a Taurus I know. And this one that I know, they help people, but they can't sit there and baby them. They can help them, give them this stuff, put them where they need to go, and then they're like, I got to go on to the next. Other people need me. I just can't sit here and be a nursemaid for you. I've given you what you need. I've told you what you need to do. Now it's on you to continue that on. I have to go on to the next. Other people deserve help too. So I feel like this is what I'm getting here. So, all right, you moved on. You needed to. You had other things that required your attention, other responsibilities you had to take care of. I seem to think that Taurus takes on a lot and does a lot. So people have pointed out to me like that's not always the case, but I don't know. I feel like when Taurus is really thriving, they seem to have a lot going. And I'm getting here like, what is this, magical? That's kind of like the magician a lot. It's kind of like calling more things in, having more things to do. I feel like I've already been talking about this, going on to the next subject. Now, while you were doing that, there was energy going where it should in the beginning. I feel like I had a tattletale keeping me abreast of what was going on. I don't think I was upset about it, but when I see that Page of Swords energy, I keep feeling I had like a tattletale keeping me in line with what was going on. And I don't know that I was upset with it. I don't know. That's Justice card kind of like, all right, I know what's going on, but at the same time, I'm not going to go over there and police it. So it's kind of like, all right. I don't know. I have a weird feeling about it. Like, all right, I know what's going on. I kind of want to. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not going to run over there and police it. So I don't know if this is really a good thing or not. Justice coming in kind of like, all right, I know what's really going on. But also, it's kind of like, if I don't want to get involved with it, I got to kind of like just kind of stay connected to what I need to do and not really address things, even though they might not be going correctly. I'm not going to go over there and police it. So I'm not going to call something out if I'm not going to police it. It's kind of like a weird quasi half in, half out energy because I'm getting whatever's going on in the environment connected to this part that you corrected. That you rebuilt. I'm getting you partially rebuilt it. There's some weird energy going on with that. And there's the King of Wands and the Star card. These can be at odds with each other at times. I notice when I'm holding the cards, they're going in different directions. The King's looking one way. The Star is looking the other way. And I'm getting a very weird kind of like trying to keep things on point. Efforts not working out like they should. Trying to make things work, then not. Then it's working, and then it's not. Then trying to go back to the original, then not. Then forward, backward. It seems to be working. I feel like if you're looking at what's really going on, it's like it's not going to last the way they're doing it. But I can't go over there and police this. I have other things to do. I can't do that. So I'm watching this left-right action here. These two energies are not working together. It could be the same person working against themselves, where they go ahead and they get some stuff done, and then like, oh wait, that doesn't make sense. And then they go and they change it, and they're like, oh wait, I think I just made it worse. And then they try to go back to the original plan, and they're like, all right, I think this is working. Like, wait a minute. And then they just fix it so it actually makes it through the day, and you're like, that's a Band-Aid fix. That's not going to work. A weird energy. And I feel, again, the tattletale energy going on there, kind of like, so I know what's going on, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't get involved with that. I can't do that. How is this really feeling for... If this is hitting, it's either hitting or it's not. It's kind of like, I don't know if I really need to know what's going on, because I can't do anything with it. I have other responsibilities. But part of me is kind of like, I guess it's good that I know. The other part's like, I can't do anything with it. This moment's going into the next level. Okay, we're going into the next level. So, these cards. Changes are coming with this situation. Is it failing? There's a lot coming in. There might be another person very much like you involved with this. Because I see the Emperor, no, Hierophant. It's making me stutter because I feel like it's not you, but it's somebody very much like you or somebody very compatible to your thoughts. The Hierophant right here, that's the Taurus card. I don't feel like it's talking because it's coming from the environment. It's not you, but it might be somebody who's very much like in agreement with you, or maybe another Taurus. So it's one of the two. It could be just somebody who's very much in agreement and kind of like the way you're planning it out, the way you did it, they're like, that's exactly how this should be done. There's also the World coming in, Nine of Cups, and the Page of Cups, which that Page of Cups hiding behind this other card. I keep feeling like it's the Tattletale energy. That Tattletale energy, I'm not really sure I like it. I don't know. I don't know about that because I feel like that kind of serves its own purpose. It may be trying to like, oh, I just want best to happen for everybody, but it may be more of a self-serving energy rather than a best outcome energy, if you follow me on that. I don't know what to think about that. It's a general read. Take it with a grain of salt, you know what I mean? But all this energy coming in is creating a change. They're like, well, clearly that was a good plan. Taurus put in a really good plan, fixed it, made it make sense, but apparently people aren't listening to that. People aren't doing what they should be doing. They had a chance to do it that way. They had a chance to do it the easier way, but they didn't want to do that. So this group of people is coming in and starting to change something and starting to push things back where they're supposed to go. The Seven of Wands is like holding something back, is how I see it. Like, it's kind of like you're on this side of the wall and you're holding things back from getting in. And I almost feel like sometimes it's pushing things back where they're supposed to be. And I'm kind of getting that with the Seven of Wands in this one. Pushing things back where they're supposed to be. Like, this group of people might be pushing things back where they're supposed to go. And I don't know that this is a really bad thing, but for some reason, this is like, I don't think I like this when I'm seeing it. I don't know that this is bad, but I don't think you're going to like it when you see it, when this happens. Because it's not a Tower moment, but it kind of feels like it might be. I get that it's not. There's like, the way this reading comes in, the way the cards are laid, like this seems to be like how you might perceive it, but it doesn't really have to be a Tower moment. Because something about this is going to be uncomfortable. I don't know that it's going to be uncomfortable for you, but it might look like it's too harsh, and you might be like, ooh, that's kind of harsh. But at the same time, you're like, well, that's what needs to happen for this to work out. The Wheel of Fortune is turning, but it's forcing things back where it should go. So how it happens is the Wheel of Fortune. Because there might be some very brutal changes going on here. I don't know if I like it. Again, I'm getting this weird, like, I wish they had just done it the way they should have. It wouldn't have been this type of outcome. If they had just done it like they should have, it wouldn't have been this type of outcome. Whatever it is, the idea here, you might want to consider just trying to be at peace with it, because I don't think this part's under your control, but it does seem like it weighs on you. That like little tattletale energy keeps popping up, so you are definitely going to know what's going on. At this point, I feel like I do want to know what's going on, so I feel like I'm more welcoming to that, because I want to know what's going on. It's got to kind of come to its own peaceful moment. I do think you're going to add back into this situation. You might have known that anyway. Once those random ways of it going back, like however it's going back to where it should be, it's random how it's happening. It's not like set in order, like we're going to do this, we're going to fix it. It's like if you're going through a house, like we're going to fix the entryway, then we're going to do for the closest room, and we're going to go in like a clockwise direction, then we're going to go on the first floor and start to the right and go, or the right and go in a clockwise direction, and we're just going to keep doing that, and then we're going to all the way to the top. It's not in order like that. It's kind of like we're going to do maybe the porch, then we're going to do the attic, then we're going to do one of the bedrooms, then we're going to do the cellar, then we're going to do the kitchen, then we're going to do the garage. It's just all over the place, and how it's done may look completely crazy to you, but it's all an effort to put it back where it's supposed to go. It may seem like it's all over the place, and at one point I feel like you might look at it like, does this even make sense? Is that really going to put it back where it's supposed to go? Because this looks like madness. you will add back in, is what I'm getting. You got the Page of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and the safe travel. I feel like I'm coming in and out. I'm coming in and out. I'm coming in and out. When I get the safe travel, I don't feel like you're constantly there. It's kind of reminds me of like people who have those jobs where like they have a base city where they live out of, and then they travel anywhere from like 50 to 100 miles a day all over the place, and they go to different places for different reasons. It kind of reminds me of that, like traveling all over the place, in and out of this situation, in and out, in and out, in and out. Because I keep feeling that's what's going on here. I don't see that bothering you, but I do see when everything finally settles again, that's when we're going to have the really restrictive, like, this is how it has to be. We're not allowing leeway. We're not allowing any type of, like, play with this or any type of, like, random pieces. It's the way it needs to be done. So it's almost like you show up at 8 o'clock, you do this at 9 o'clock, you do that at 10 o'clock, you do that at 11 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, you go to lunch, you're back here exactly at 1 o'clock, not before and not after. You do this at 2 o'clock, you do this at 3 o'clock, you do this at 4 o'clock, and 5 o'clock, you go home. And it's like that every day. This is not going to be a problem for you. This is not going to be a problem for you. If people step out of line with that, I do get that it's very harsh. There's repercussions immediately. Like, you're supposed to be back at 1, you're not allowed to come back before, 1 minute before or 1 minute after. I feel like it might be that strict, Like, you can wait in your car until, 1 o'clock, but you need to walk in this building at 1 o'clock and be at your desk, as fast as possible. And then you need to do what you're told. You clock in at 1, not a minute before, not a minute after. It does seem very strict like that, because I keep saying it, and I'm like, it reminds me of, like, when I've worked at places, and it's kind of like if they make you punch out for lunch and punch back in for lunch, it's kind of like being right on the minute. Like, it's not really realistic. Usually you got like a 5-minute leeway. You can come in, come back, you should be 55 minutes-ish, no more than an hour and 5 minutes after. So no, you gotta be at least gone for 55 minutes. After 55 minutes, you can clock back in. You should be clocked back in before an hour and 5 minutes has passed by. Usually there's something like that, but I'm getting like, nope, we don't even have that. The direct time, the exact time. It feels like that's madness to me, but I'm getting you can roll with it. That's where this is going to go. I get that you're going to be fine with it, because you can roll with those rules. Kind of like, all right, that's how it's going to go. Same thing every time. I know exactly what to expect. I show up at this time. This will be ready for me. I do what I need to do. I do, and I go. Everything is exactly as clockwork. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it too much. Hey, they made their decisions. This is why this is working out that way, but it's easier for me. I'm going to do it. It's going to be fine. I'm also getting, like, this is also creating some better diplomacy. Why diplomacy? The Chariot's coming in. People are either going to fit this new structure or they're not. If they fit it, they'll be fine. If they don't, they're going to move on. This new structure, you might see a turnover of people. I don't know what to say about that. It depends what you're dealing with, but there might be a change with that, because I get you either fit it or you don't. You, I see, have no problem with it. I don't see you having any problem with it. Other people might struggle, and they're probably going to be gone. Or, for example, if this was a corporation, right, and this is a certain department, certain people might move to other departments, so because they just don't fit the new way things are going, so they might go into a different department where they can thrive a little bit better. Other people who like this type of restriction will come into this department because they actually like that order and that structure. It may seem a little bit insane to some other people that somebody is choosing to go into this situation, but again, this situation matches you, so you kind of understand it. Other people who also match that type of flavor will be attracted to it. I don't think this is bad for you, at least. And overall, this situation, I feel like this is looking at something that, like, you fixed, and then you got that tattletale energy saying, uh-oh, it's not going well, and then people are making some harsh rules and pushing it where it needs to go. When it's pushing where it needs to go, I do feel like it looks like it's bedlam. It looks crazy, and I feel like if that's where you are in the story of this situation, or it goes there soon, hopefully this reading gives you that confidence to realize it will even out again, And it will even out to a harsh place, but that won't be bad for you. And it will kind of sort out the way it needs to. So overall, I feel like for now at least, this is how this needs to work out. So if this is reading is hitting, hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that gives some type of confidence or helps some way for you. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. I feel like I forgot something, but maybe not. All right. Thank you very much for watching, and you have a great day.